Having your trees online in multiple places helps you take advantage of hinting as well as collaboration. But how do you keep your information in sync between FamilySearch and Ancestry? Howdy, I'm Devin Noel Lee, and this is Family History Fanatics, where we teach you how to climb your family tree and have a whole lot of fun along the way. One of the things we love to do here on Family History Fanatics is to answer viewer questions. How do you transfer your information between Ancestry and FamilySearch? I'm a relative newcomer to this. I do have some information stored on Ancestry, but I want to transfer it to FamilySearch. I saw your video on GEDCOMs. By the way, the link to that video will pop up in the info cards, or you can find it in the description section of this video. But continuing on, she saw the video on GEDCOMs and to not try to upload them to FamilySearch, but I can't seem to figure out how to transfer only a few names at a time between Ancestry and FamilySearch. I can do the whole tree, but need help only doing part of it. Any ideas? All right, Terry, this is your lucky day. I'm so excited to ask this question. But to get people up to speed as far as how to transfer a bulk tree and then individuals, let me tell you a couple of the suggestions to get everybody on the same page and answer your question along the way. So essentially, what Terry and many of you want to do is transfer your information from FamilySearch and Ancestry. And for the most part, there's no real easy way to do this, unless you happen to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There is a way to transfer information between FamilySearch and Ancestry.com. Where do you go if you happen to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in order to get access to Ancestry.com? And then how do you transfer your information? I'll show you that. If you happen to not be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, go ahead and skip forward a little bit and get to the answer to your question. So if you are a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you will want to go to the FamilySearch.org Partner Access page. Now, I'll put a link in the description as well as the pinned comment of this video. Be advised the link might change, which is why I'm not talking about it now. But you should always be able to Google search FamilySearch Partner Access and come to a page very similar to like this. You would create your personal accounts with Ancestry. After signing in, click the Join for Free button. Again, it wants me to sign in. And in this case, I do not have this account synced with my church membership number, and so it tells me I don't qualify for that access. If I did, then I would go through this process and it will walk me through step by step how to set up my account. If you have already paid for a membership of Ancestry.com, might I suggest you wait towards the end of your membership expiration time period before you turn this on. Now, what happens when you get into FamilySearch and you have that partner access? You find that there's this logo right here. When you get this partner access, what you will see here on a profile page for an individual, I'm going to zoom in, way in. You're going to see that little family tree icon. That family tree icon doesn't mean that you're going to automatically sync. I'm zooming out so we can actually utilize this, but you will be able to easily transfer your information. So I'm going to click on that button. It says your authorization has expired. It means I'm not signed in to FamilySearch. I'll go ahead and sign in with my linked account. And then FamilySearch will search its database used on the input from Ancestry.com and look for the find best matches. In this case, they think they found a match, and that looks accurate. I've got the Lucille Virginia Davis, it's actually Lucille Bracken Davis, but all of her names is a story for another video, maybe. So if I do like this, then I can go ahead and connect the person. If that person wasn't accurate, I can actually transfer information. Let's say I had Asa on my ancestry tree and I want to put them into Family Search, then I can press the Add to Family Search button and go through the dialog. If Ancestry and Family Search can't find my hint like it did here, then I can go over to Family Search, find the person ID, and type it in here. There's lots of ways to transfer your information. So I'm going to connect this person, and now you see that blue check mark right next to the name. I'm going to zoom back out, and once you see that blue check mark, it doesn't mean that they can have transferred information yet unless you're adding it to Family Search for the first time. But what it does mean is that they are linked, and now it's time for you to compare information. So I can go ahead and compare the information, and then I can transfer things either way. I can transfer the name, the gender, the birth date, and place. So far, everything matches except for this burial. So I want to transfer the burial date of 1977. When you go from Ancestry to Family Search, you're going to have to type in a reason statement because that's what Family Search requires. So when I'm finished, I can transfer not only this date over, but my reason statement of why I believe this date to be. Now, that's not my best reason statement ever, but you get the idea. Now, if I wanted to bring information over to from Family Search to Ancestry, such as this source, this marriage source, all I have to do is click this button and it will be added to the tree. And notice when it goes from Family Search to Ancestry, Ancestry doesn't ask you about reason statements. So as I scroll through, I can decide that I want to keep this and then I want to transfer that, so on and so forth. The sources won't ask you for a reason statement, but the content up at the top, if you change any of this content, you will find that you have to add a reason statement as why you're going to put the information over that way. So scrolling down, I can go ahead and press Save Changes. Now, after I've done that, press Save Changes, Ancestry brings me back to this page. I can click on View This Person on Family Search, and as long as I'm logged in, I will be able to see that now he has a burial date of 1977. If we go to edit, we're going to then see that reason statement that I created. So that's the easy way. You have to be a member of the Church of Jesus Christ for that icon functionality to kick into gear. If you are not a member and you haven't of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and you haven't turned on that partner access account, you won't see that. So back to those of you who aren't members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, or if you've paid for a more robust ancestry description than what the partner access account provides for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, how do you get your information between Family Search and Ancestry.com? In the past, there was a way to transfer information between Family Search and Ancestry and back and again, and that was using GEDCOM files. Well, Family Search didn't want information coming into their tree because they want you to articulate why you're making a change every single time you do. It also is a one tree platform. Unlike Ancestry, where everybody can have their own personal tree, Family Search is one tree. And the more they allow people to put their information into Family Search in bulk, the more challenging and messy the one tree platform became. The Family Search turned off the ability to upload GEDCOM files to Family Search. It also, within the last several years, turned off the ability for you to download a GEDCOM file from Family Search so that you can use it on other platforms. So you can't transfer bulk trees and you can't transfer little bits of information if you're not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. What's the person to do? Well, that's when third-party platforms come into being. If I want to transfer little bits of data between the two sites, I need to use a third-party genealogy software program. One of the ones that I use right now is RootsMagic. RootsMagic has the ability to connect with both Ancestry and FamilySearch, and I can transfer my information both ways. So I can take data that I have in Ancestry, pass it through RootsMagic, and then I can pass it up to FamilySearch. But the great thing about RootsMagic is I can go the other way. I can go from FamilySearch through RootsMagic to Ancestry as well. So now I'm going to open up RootsMagic and I'm going to show you how you can get your information from FamilySearch and take it to Ancestry.com. So what I'm going to do is close the introductory pop-up message that we get, and I'm going to create a new file. When I press create a new file, I'll give it a name. Turn on FamilySearch tree support hints. You can also enable web hints, but I like to have match to FamilySearch hints when found. And there's some other choices you could choose, but we're going to keep skipping on ahead. Now that I have RootsMagic open, I am going to come up here to this little icon that looks very similar to FamilySearch. So we're going to click on that, and then we're going to go to import. When we get to import, we can do ourselves, and then we can walk through the process. It will ask us all the information because I've signed in to FamilySearch as myself, or I can start a tree anywhere in FamilySearch. So, but to do that, I'm going to have to get that PID number. Where are you going to get that? Well, here I am over here on FamilySearch, and I want to get the tree for Lewis Sherman, and here is that PID. If I click on it, a little copy ID pops up. Click on that again. You don't have to do Control-C. So awesome. So then I'm going to go back to RootsMagic, and then I'm going to Control-Paste or right-click paste the PID right there, and then I can go up to 10, 12 generations back. Don't do any more than 10. Really, your tree is going to be too crazy. And then you can throw in some descendants if you want as well. Start the import, and then eventually you'll have a tree for your use. Now, for the purpose of this video, I did a very small tree. It has about 25 people, 35 people in it, but I can go ahead and close this importer, and now I have the tree for Sherman Lewis Brown. So how do I get it from RootsMagic to Ancestry.com? Well, that's easy. I can click on Ancestry, the little icon right here, and then I go into sign in. Once I have signed in, all I have to do is upload and connect a new tree. I can give the tree a name, call it Brown Test so I know to delete it later. It'll upload all of this stuff. Now, how do you transfer little bits of information between FamilySearch and Ancestry using RootsMagic? So find the ancestor that you know that you changed, and you can click on that little blue icon and have this screen pop up. So on FamilySearch, there was a death date for 1985. You can add it as new or replace on RootsMagic, and then just like that, the information is changed. Let's say you want to also, you discovered a new relative, then you can add this person to RootsMagic as a new father of James Anthony, and now you have that person transferred. You can also use the screen to go back the other way. Remember, when you add new information to FamilySearch, you will be stopped to ask right here in RootsMagic, why are you making that change? That's the pattern on FamilySearch. You always have to explain your changes, and RootsMagic does provide that space for you to type in that information. So let's say you want to now transfer information for our Edward Anthony up to Ancestry. We'll come up here to this icon for your Ancestry tree share icon. What's really nice about this tree share, it will look for all of the changes for you rapidly and put it into one little transfer file. So I'm on our Anthony, our Edwin Anthony. So confusing when the same names could be a first name or a last name. So we found on FamilySearch a new death date that we don't have on Ancestry, and that's why it's highlighted in yellow, a change for you to investigate. So I can go ahead and add new event on Ancestry, and there you go. Remember, Ancestry doesn't ask you for reason statements, fast transfer. The changes have not been applied just yet until you hit this Accept Changes button. But notice over here on Ancestry, there's a new bit of information. There's an arrival date. He did a little bit of traveling. So I can add that new event to RootsMagic, or maybe it was bogus and I can delete it. But I'm going to add the new event, and look, we can also add a new father. When I've made all the changes I want for Edwin, I pressed Accept Changes, and now all of these changes will go to Ancestry. And I can reverse the process as well. Remember, we had the arrival information. I can come back here to this icon for Edwin, and then I can transfer this information over to FamilySearch, but I'd have to type in my reason statement. And as you know, I'm doing a little bit of gibberish right now. Once I like it, I go ahead and press OK. It will update Ancestry. So that's how you can pass information between Ancestry and FamilySearch. You're going to have to use a third-party platform. Now, which programs accomplish this goal? RootsMagic, Ancestral Quest, and Legacy Family Tree Maker do pass information between those two platforms. If you use Family Tree Maker as of this recording, it doesn't transfer information to FamilySearch. So that's one of the reasons why I like RootsMagic, is because I can transfer information between FamilySearch and Ancestry. I want to invite you to press the subscribe button and the bell if you like the content we have on this channel, so you can be advised when you log into YouTube when another video is released from our channel. If you want to make sure that you don't miss any of our blog posts, our conferences, our appearances, and more, as well as be notified in advance of when we will have live streams, go ahead and sign up for our newsletter, and you will get this free guide just for signing up.